Topic today is what does one God have to do with Muhammad? Or we could say, what does one God have to do with Islam? Or we could say, I don't want to be Muslim. Or we could say, who is Allah? Or we could say, who is Allah and where did he come from? Let me see here. Once again, guys, tag your favorite Muslims. We're going to have a debate today. He's just the last messenger of God since the previous messages was corrupted by the humans. Okay, Adamo, come up. You're the chosen one since you got the answer. And explain to me what was the corruption. Let's talk about what was the corruption. Why was there corruption? Because that part doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So what you're telling me is that the Jews, they saw God and they were like, nah. That's what you're telling me right now. Hello, Adamo.
Yo,
What's up, bro?
what's up, bro?
Not that much, man. Are we going to have a good combo?
I hope so.
All right, let's get it.
We're
You
gonna have a
Muslim?
respectful convo.
Respectful. I'm respectful. I'm super respectful. I hope
It
you are.
wasn't sounding respectful, but we'll let it slide.
You know I got to rage bait to get people up here.
I guess so.
Talk to me. Talk to me. What's up?
Um,
But you're Muslim, right?
yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna pretend that I'm a scholar, also. So please bear with me.
I won't either. I won't either.
Um, I want to talk more about the corruption of the Bible,
Okay.
right? You say that okay. So first, let's get one thing first, right? The Bible. What Bible do you follow?
Honestly, I don't really follow the Bible to be real. I'm not.
Don't follow the Bible. So
I'm not 100%.
What religious group do you align yourself with?
I haven't really. I'm not 100% aligned with anybody, to be honest with you. I like
Okay.
Christianity. It's probably like my favorite take, but
Okay.
I don't
So
really.
okay. So but you believe in one God, you're like a monotheist. You just don't know which religion you really define yourself as, I guess, right?
Yeah, but I guess it would be less like I don't know. It's like less I don't know, and more like I feel like all of them aren't like really it for me. That's really
Yeah,
more
I
more
mean,
where I'm at.
okay. I mean, the first thing I get curious is why do you align yourself with Christianity the most? Do you believe that Jesus is God?
I think he could be. I'm not 100% sure that he is or not. But the reason
So
why I line with, huh?
would you like believe in the Trinity per se?
Probably not the Trinity. Not the Trinity. No, not in the classical sense that how most people take it. No.
So then,
But
how would you believe?
I could see it. I haven't wrapped my head around it. So the whole thing with the Trinity, it comes down to like philosophical terms. You know, like what is an actual person versus like a philosophical meaning of a person. I guess it's possible, but I don't like it. So I don't. I try not to push Trinity. But my going
So
back, if I could
yeah,
answer
yeah.
your question though about like why I like Christianity though, is because I feel like Christianity is more spiritual, and I feel like Islam is really just about physical, like physically taking over the world and controlling people.
Why do you say that? Why do you think that Christianity is more spiritual than Islam?
Because it's like it's like as a Christian, when I used to be a Christian, it was my mindset was like I want you to believe in Jesus and I want you to go to heaven, but if you don't want to, okay, and I still accept you as you are. I'm not gonna try to change you, and I'm not gonna like try to make laws about your behavior.
Have
You
you
get what I mean?
tried this? Have you studied Islam?
When you say study, do you mean like what do you mean exactly?
By what context have you looked into Islam?
So I've been running these debates for like a year, and I have Muslim friends. I've looked into the Quran, stuff like that.
So why do you say it's about controlling the world? Because I mean, in my opinion, at least from what I see, right? Forget about religion. From what I see is that the Muslims are usually the minority groups in most countries, and usually looked at as the bad people, and not the people
Wait,
running the
wait,
world, quote unquote.
wait. Hold on. Because I mean, I'm seeing the exact opposite that you're talking about right now. How do you not see that Muslim control one third of the countries on the planet. There are 50,
Oh,
50 plus countries are Muslim
okay, but
and
again,
growing
what? How?
and grow and they
But
want
are they
more.
not? General media? Are they not looked at as the bad guys usually in
No,
movies and TV and media? They're not.
I mean
I
what you're
mean,
what you're trying to say is that in West on the West, yes, they're looked at as how you're
yeah,
saying.
we're. I mean, let's talk
But
about the
I
West
think
here
it's
because if you
justified.
want
I
to
think
talk
it's
about the
justified.
non-developed world, that's a completely different story, in my opinion.
Non-developed.
Yeah, the underdeveloped. Sorry, underdeveloped world. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I mean,
majority of Muslim countries you're
UAE is
naming are
pretty
underdeveloped.
developed. Saudi
Yeah,
Arabia,
but
which
the
is your
UAE,
capital,
but the
is
but the
developed.
thing with the UAE and and Saudi Arabia is they're funded by the West. I mean, they're controlled puppets by the West. I mean,
Your
that's like
capital, the capital of Islam
I
is
wouldn't say that that's the capital of Islam. I just because it's a country that doesn't mean it's the capital of Islam.
Mecca
I
is
would say
not the capital of Islam now. How is that
yeah,
possible?
but not Saudi Arabia. There's a difference, right? There's a difference. That's like
All right.
saying I'd say saying is Israel the Christian capital? No, it's Jerusalem. There's a big difference between the two. You know what I mean?
We don't, yeah, but in Christianity, we don't have a capital like that, like how
I
you
mean,
guys do. You know,
I wouldn't say it's a cow. It's just a historic site. I mean, it's a religious site. It's not really. It's just like, the
I
Taj
just, and I
Mahal.
don't want to get stuck on this point, but I do think it's a major failure because I am seeing that like most Muslims are kind of against Saudi Arabia these days, and I'm just like, what's
Yeah,
going
the
on?
country,
Like,
the government, not the actual like Mecca. It's not the
yeah.
actual like historic. I mean, the religious site more as the country, the
But
government itself.
that's a huge failure on the part of Islam, would you not say?
I mean, I don't think Islam has to do with politics, so I wouldn't say that because it's Saudi Arabia, the government is not doing the most halal things, quote unquote.
Hmm.
That's a failure of Islam. That's more of a failure of the people of Saudi Arabia.
What just curious, what do you think they're doing that's wrong?
Saudi Arabia, well, they're funding a lot of bad people, and they're starting proxy wars. They're funding some like Somaliland, which has no like benefit towards the Muslims or any. Honestly, it doesn't have any benefit besides
But
stealing wealth from.
their argument would be that they're against the Muslim Brotherhood, basically, right?
But what is the point? What is the point of some of establishing Somaliland? If we want to talk about this.
I don't know too much about it, but from the little bit that I've heard, it's just kind of like they're trying to separate from, I guess, a certain sect of Islam
Well,
or a
no,
certain.
it's really not. It's really just a gas deal. They want to put a pipeline through that land, and Somalia won't allow it. Israel wants to put a pipeline through that land.
Okay.
Somalia won't allow it. So what they're doing is just splitting the country, calling it Somaliland, throwing all the Palestinians there, the displaced Palestinians, and
Hmm.
then taking all the wealth from the country
So
from that area.
let's get into the corruption then, because I think my biggest issue is, like I said, so I look at the Israel situation like I think Islam has like 50 plus countries that they conquered, right? They're like imperialists, and then they're also mad at this one little tiny country, and they want that one too. And I think the only
Well, it's not.
justification for
That's
it.
not really what it's. That's not really what it's about. It's more about these guys just came in and we opened our land with open arms to them, and instead of
No,
sharing
no,
with us,
no,
they
no,
just took
brother,
it from them.
brother, please, come on. I think we need to have an
What
honest
are
conversation about this
we
because
are we are
you guys, okay, as much as you guys know or claim that Israel may have corrupted their scripture or whatever, right? You do understand that they existed, but way before Muslims
that's see, that's not what does Muslims have to do with anything with that debate?
or
That topic has
Arabs.
nothing to do with
Fine, Arabs.
so were the Jews at that time not Arabs?
No,
If so people in that area were not Arabs. So what were
no,
they?
they were Israelites.
Okay, so what about the people that are Arabs now that descend from that land that quote unquote come
Yeah,
from the Israelites? What
and
about them?
you're right. Yeah. So my thing is this:
Because
I don't have a problem saying that at one time the Israelites got kicked out of their land, and then the Arabs were there because the Arab conquest, and then when the Israelites had to come back, yeah, then there was a dispute.
had to come
But
back.
sure, whatever. But my point is they still were there first. And so for everybody to kind of start
But
the
what?
movie in
But
the
those people,
middle,
but those people that were there were also still there first too. No, were they not there with them?
you can't be no. That's what I'm
Because
trying to explain.
let's
No.
look at it this let's
How
look at
can
it
you
this way.
be
Let's look at it
brother,
this
do
way.
you know where Arabia is? Do you know what is
Yeah.
considered as
The
Arabia?
Arabian Peninsula, I know.
Yeah,
So
it's not there.
let's look at it this way. The majority of the Israeli population now that lives in Israel is allergic to olive trees, which are natural to the land, right? So how do you say that those people are descendants of that land if they're not even, they're allergic to the natural
More than likely it's because of what everybody says, that they went into Europe and breeded with the Europeans, whatever. I don't care about that. My point is this anyway. I see it as a little bit of disingenuous, right? That Muslims want to come back and say, like, you guys literally have a mosque on their most holiest like
But that's
piece
our
of
most
land.
that's one of our most
I
holiest
get it, but
mosques.
it's like you guys
And
kind of
that's
started the
wait,
confrontation.
but
So
that's the holiest site for all three religions.
that's fine. That's
It's
fine.
not just
But
theirs. Like, why
I
is
get it.
just
I get
theirs?
it.
What
And
about
I'm
Christians?
I'm fine. But no, we don't have a site there. But what I'm saying is,
Who's we?
I'm
I thought
okay.
you didn't align with a group.
Judaism predates Islam.
Okay. So he knows that. So the only, and I'm okay with you guys even claiming it, but we have to now get into, okay, then why is Judaism a false religion? Then let's talk about that.
I didn't say Judaism. I don't think it is a false religion. Sorry, I don't think it's a false religion. I didn't say it
You
was a
said
false
that you said
religion.
they're following corrupted scriptures.
No, I said the Bible was corrupted, and that's why, or the revelation that God gave, the second revelation was corrupted by humans. That's why the third revelation, the final one, the Quran, was
Whoa,
was brought down.
wait. So wait. Okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying Judaism was not corrupted, only Christianity.
Uh, sorry, I got a call. Sorry. The thing is, so the Torah came down, and then they went to Jerusalem after getting freed from Egypt and that area and whatever, and then they started doing pagan rituals and stuff, and they started swaying away from the Torah. So that's when God sent Jesus down to guide the Israelites, quote unquote, right? The people of Jerusalem at the time,
Yep.
because they were praying to statues and stuff, and that's when Jesus came down, whatever.
Yep.
And then, but that's when the Bible got corrupted, because then the Bible is just a compilation of people that were around Jesus talking about Jesus years after he died.
I got
So
you,
that's when the
but
Bible gets corrupted, and then that's
brother,
when
but
God was like, okay, all two of my revelations now have been
all right. I get
corrupted
what you're
or
saying.
used and misused. Let me finish, and I'll let you talk. And two of my revelations now have been either corrupted or misused or whatever, misinterpreted. And so now this is the final one. That's where the Quran comes down, and that's the final revelation. So I don't
Yeah.
say that the two
Yeah.
other ones are untrue. I don't say that.
Okay, but what I just want to make sure is that when you say the Bible got corrupted, you do understand that the Bible is just a compilation of other books, right?
Exactly. That's why it's
Okay.
corrupted.
I get that, but what you're saying is this is what you're saying. I want to be specific here because the Jews believed in a monotheistic thing. They didn't have Trinity. They didn't have too much of the Son of God going on, right? And yes, did they fall into idol worship? Yes, they did, which they themselves record in their own book, and they tell you that it was wrong, and they show God's punishment for them doing that, and then they would always go back to just worshiping God, right? So
Sure.
but then what you're saying is, I just want to make sure you're saying that because that's the Old Testament, the Torah, right? That
Yeah.
Torah is the same one inside the Bible and outside the Bible. You
It's
get
not
that,
though.
right?
We lost the Old Testament. We don't
Okay,
have the original one.
according to you, right? That's my point. So it is corrupted then. So that's what I'm saying because I'm trying to make sure you said it's not corrupted, but it is. So is it? That's what I'm saying. Is the Old Testament corrupted?
The original one, no, but the one that we have now, yeah. The one that's in the Bible, yeah.
We don't have the original one, right?
Exactly. That's
Okay,
what I'm saying.
so according to you, all the Torahs that exist right
Like, it
now,
can't,
all
like
of
what
them.
I'm saying is it did come down from God, but then it was corrupted
Right,
over the
right.
years.
I get what you're saying,
to
but as
benefit
of right now,
humanity.
all the Torahs are corrupted. Every single one of them, all of them right now are corrupted, right?
In some way. I every single one, I'm not sure. I couldn't, to be honest with you, I couldn't sit here and tell you yes. I can't. I'm not 100% sure if all the Torahs.
All right. Well, I'm just letting you know, all Muslims believe that all of them are corrupted. So now, my thing to you is just from you, and I know we said we're not going to talk about scholars, like we're not scholars, okay? But just you understanding from what you do understand about Judaism, what do you not like about it? What would you say is like, nah, that's definitely wrong in Judaism?
See, with Judaism, I think is closer to Islam than
Okay,
any other
I
religion. I
know.
don't find a problem with people following
Correct.
to
I agree
Judaism.
with you.
However, I think a lot of people follow the teachings of the Talmud as well, which I don't believe that they should.
Okay, but don't focus on that because those are different type of
But
Jews.
but
Those are
that's
that's like a
majority of
sect.
but
No,
that's
it
the
isn't.
major sect though.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't, brother.
It is though
I
because
guarantee you, that's like saying Shia is the majority. They're not. So
that's
it
not.
is. If you talk to Jewish people, they don't follow the Talmud, and the Talmud is not even something to be followed. If you
I don't
even
know
really know what it is.
every Jewish person that I've talked to, at least
Do
on
you know?
here,
Okay. Do you
has
understand? Okay. Let me then. I'm gonna have to ask you then. Do you know what the Talmud even is?
yeah, I do.
What is
It's
it?
like the interpretations of the Torah
It's
by rabbis.
it's not just the interpretations, right? It's
It's
debates. It's debates.
yeah, yes, essentially interpretation. It's other
So
rabbis giving their own interpretations of the Torah. Yeah, they
correct.
debate about it because people have different interpretations, sure,
Yeah.
but
So
essentially,
so
it's just
so it would be like saying it would be like me saying that you follow the tafsir. Do you follow the tafsir?
no.
You don't, right? You sometimes there's a tafsir by Ibn Kathir or it was somebody else, and you're like, oh, I like his interpretation versus another interpretation. You get that?
Sure.
That's all that it is. So again, I just want to make sure because my thing is this, like, okay, it seems to me a little offensive, right? I understand your beef with the Christians. I totally get it. And I do want to talk about that as well, but I don't understand your beef with the Jews. I really don't.
I never said I have beef with the Jews. I
What
consider them the closest religion to us. I don't think that like again I'm not sitting here and saying if you're not Muslim you're gonna go to hell if you don't follow only Islam you're gonna go to hell. That's not what I'm saying, right? I think Judaism is the closest thing to Islam. I'm not saying
okay,
people that
so you
follow
agree with
Judaism are
me?
wrong
So you
either.
agree with me that on a personal level, on like on a strictly like human level, Jews are all right,
Sure, yeah. I mean, I don't have any. I've never said I had. Yeah,
right?
I
Because
mean,
as far as I
every
know,
person is
they're
different. I would see. I
monotheists.
don't. I wouldn't. I mean, I can't. I mean, sure, I'm not going to generalize every Jew. I mean, I don't know every single Jewish person, right? I'm the same
No,
way. I'm not
I
going to say
get
every
that.
Muslim
I just
person
mean
is all right.
the religion itself. I mean the religion, because they kind
Sure,
of
I
got
think
like the
there's flaws
same.
in it.
They
Sure, I do think that
yeah
there's
Hey,
flaws in it. Sure, but it's not.
respectfully, I'll come back later, gentlemen. I
yeah.
want
Appreciate
to
you.
then. Thank you, brother. You're
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Okay, so basically, yeah, because they're monotheists, right? They got like halal stuff. They got like their own version of halal, basically, right?
Sure,
They,
but then they
they're
reject like two of the prophets. You know what I mean? It's like
who?
so. It's like they reject obviously Prophet Muhammad.
Oh,
Obviously.
yeah, well, of course,
Um,
because
yeah, I
that,
mean, I understand. That's understandable. It came out. Sure, I understand
yeah,
that.
yeah,
And then,
yeah,
but then they
and
also,
not only that, but the name of their God is different.
what do you mean?
The name of their God is Yahweh, and y'all's is Allah.
It's just a different language.
That's not a different language.
It's like I mean, we believe it's the same God. They believe it's the same God as us too.
But you
They don't
can't.
deny that.
Okay, so what if I came to you and I'm like, yo, believe in my God, Steve, but don't worry, it's still Allah. Would you take that?
My God, I mean, God has 99 names. I believe that Huawei is just one of his names.
But Yahweh is not one of the 99.
Yahweh. Oh, if I mean if other people want to call it they don't deny believing the same God as us. So if they want to call him different, their book says
No,
it differently. Then sure, but
they believe that you guys believe that you believe in the same God as them. That's what they believe. But they would
sure.
never.
Then
But they would never say God's name is Yahweh. I mean
sure.
Allah.
But I mean at the end of the day, I still believe that they believe the same God as us. So I don't. They might think it's just a different name.
I
I'm
get
not
that, but
sure the
and
technicalities.
I totally get that, but I just want to make sure that you understand the sensitivity of the issue because you're asking like you're blaming them for not accepting another prophet, right? Which is a big deal technically to you. But I'm like,
Yeah,
how
I
could you
mean
blame them when this other prophet is telling them to
but that's
forget
what
the
I said.
name
But
of
that's what I
God?
said. I said I can't blame them because
Okay,
Muhammad came
okay,
after
all right, cool,
their
cool,
book.
cool. Cool. I'm glad. Okay, so let's move on to the
That was
Christians
like the
then. What?
first. The Christians, that's a whole different story with the Trinity and Jesus.
All right, talk about the Trinity and Jesus.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to talk about. What?
So what's your issue?
I want to know your issue more with Islam. That's what I kind
Yeah,
of want to
yeah.
know because
Yeah, like I said in the
you're
beginning,
kind of targeting an audience,
my issue with Islam is that they want to control people's behaviors, and
Why do you say that?
because of Sharia law. Sharia law is violent, essentially. To me, in my eyes, is a violent religion.
What makes it violent?
You get unalived for apostasy, for example, because you have to fight the unbelievers until they pay the jizya. Because it's
Well, yeah,
I mean,
but the
there's a
jizya
whole lot of stuff.
the jizya is still less than what we're obligated to give. So it's not
But
it's
it's
an
not.
unjust.
Yeah, but
It's like if you're living on Muslim land, Muslims are required to give charity.
Well,
You guys are
let me
required
ask you
to give
this. Okay,
tax.
because Muslims always say this. Show me the regulation on what the amount of the jizya is.
I'm not sure.
There
Let me
is
see.
none. There is none.
But it's still, it was, I mean, in the time period, what time period are you talking about and where? I mean, we can look up the specific jizya and what it was if you want to
You
go
can.
that specific.
Yeah, and that's right. You can look up what it might have been during whatever time period, but that's arbitrary, is what I'm saying. It's up to the caliph
Sure,
at
but
the
then,
time.
okay, but then why can't
So-
you make
so-
that claim of well, you're paying taxes in America for living in America? Why?
Because it's
why do
not-
I have to pay taxes for
Yeah,
living in America?
yeah, because when you pay a tax in America, the tax doesn't say on the bottom of it, you're paying this tax so that you could feel humiliated.
I mean, why does this? Where does it say that in the jizya either?
It says that in the Quran, 100%.
No, it doesn't. It's
You want me
literally
to
just
show
a
you?
tax because you're not Muslim.
You want me to show you?
Sure. Show me where it says that you pay the jizya because you're
Okay.
to humiliate someone.
It literally says that in the Quran. Jizya. Where is it? Let me go to my Quran.com. So if it does say that, then what?
I don't know. Let me see it first. I mean,
But I know I'm looking at. I'm pulling it up. But
I want to
let's
see
say.
the context too. I don't want to see a single line.
Okay, so it's where is I'm right here. So nine. What is this? 929. Okay. So 929, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day, nor comply with what Allah and his messengers have forbidden. Right? So this is talking about what I said. It's a violent religion that wants to control people. And then it says, nor embrace the religion of truth from those who were given the scripture, until they pay the tax willingly, submitting, fully humbled. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean?
It means that they have to pay a tax if they're not Muslim. I don't
Yeah.
know what.
Brother, it says, until they pay the tax willingly, submitting, fully humbled. What does that mean?
That they have to give the tax humbly. I mean, like, what do you? Well, they have to. They have to
If I-
fully
if I
submit to
come-
giving the
if I
tax. They
come
can't-
to
you,
you-
you know what
would
it
you-
means? Hold on. You know what it means? Fully submitting, aka you don't force them. You're not. They're not under distress. Humbly, they're
Brother,
not under distress,
brother.
right? So you're not putting a blade to their throat saying you have to pay this.
Brother.
That's what it's.
verse's
That's what
meaning.
it's saying.
Brother,
Literally. I mean, I don't
brother,
know
it
how
literally
you could
says
take it any
fight.
other way.
It literally says fight them.
And what does it say before that?
Fight those who do not believe in Allah.
Before that, what does it say?
Before that?
Read the whole
Are
context.
you ready?
the
It's
whole
it's gonna
passage.
make it worse. It's gonna make it worse if I read before that. Are you sure you want me to read before that?
Read it.
Do you know
read
the
whole
context?
passage.
Yes, I know
context of the passage.
Yes, I do know the context. The context is that the Muslims were getting poor because Allah commanded Muhammad that nobody except for the Muslims were allowed to go to Mecca anymore. And so they used to make a lot of money from the polytheists. So the Muslims started to fear becoming poor. And so Allah said, look, here we go. This is before. O believers, indeed the polytheists are spiritually impure. Tariq, can you mute yourself? Hold on. O believers, indeed the polytheists are Okay, but Tariq, you got background noise. Can you please mute yourself or fix your thing? O believers, indeed the polytheists are spiritually impure, so they should not approach the sacred mosque this year or after this year, right? So Allah is saying they're not allowed to come anymore to Mecca where they used to make money. And then he says, if you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you out of his bounty, and if he wills, surely Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. Fight those who do not believe in Allah and nor comply with his message, blah, 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 until they pay the jizya and are fully humbled.
Okay. So first things first. You know what time period this was written at? What this was during? When this was written during?
My brother, I'm asking you, did you miss what I read in your Quran
That's
right
what
now?
I'm explaining to what I'm giving
Okay.
context to what you just
You're
read.
okay.
What time period was it written at? It was during. It was
I'll play
during.
your game. It was during the time period where Muhammad was fighting the people who were in Mecca to make them leave. Allah
The
told them they weren't allowed to be there
Byzantine
anymore.
Empire, the Christian Empire that was in Jerusalem.
No, no, this is
Yes,
Mecca,
it was the
brother.
Byzantine.
This is Mecca,
How do you pronounce it? Byzantine, however
Byzantine.
it's pronounced.
Yeah,
Yes,
but this is
that
not
it was
Byzantine
during that
Empire yet,
time.
brother.
It
This is
was.
Muhammad was alive still.
Dude, look up when this was revealed. When that specific passage was revealed. Look it up.
The context, y'all don't know the
Yes,
context of the scripture. It's
that-
literally talking about in a war. It's saying fight
That's what I'm
against those
saying.
who
It was
fight
during
against
a
you.
war when
Pause.
the Byzantine
That's what it
Empire
is.
was.
Pause.
All Allah's saying is the fight against who's fighting against
Yes.
you.
No,
He's
it does
saying
not
go-
say. It does not say
up?
that, brother.
But
Please.
that's the context.
No,
That's
no.
the context.
Okay, Baha, relax. I know this
So
is what
what
you were told.
what-
Okay,
what
I
I'm trying to-
understand.
no,
wait,
it's-
guys, listen. I'm trying to challenge your beliefs here because I know this is what you guys were told, and maybe you do believe it. I don't think you're trying to lie to me, but what I'm telling you is that show me that. Every Muslim must say that that's the context, but nobody can show me that.
I'm just asking you to search it up. Then.
Okay, I'm not gonna search it up. You're making the claim because you're gonna
I
send
just
me on a
searched it
whole
up.
bunch. Brother, please just give me a second. Try to understand where I'm coming from. I've had this conversation a million times. A million Muslims. What just happened?
But then he's saying it doesn't align with the religion. Like I don't get
Why
it.
did I get
Like,
disconnected? Are you
He's
there?
just hating one. He like defends two and then just hates one for no reason and then reads it out of context. It's just.
Why am I not talking to nobody?
I mean,
Are
no,
you
he's
there?
reading the passage correctly. I'm rereading it. He's reading it correctly from Quran.com. It's just.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
What did he say though?
Man, it froze for me. I don't know.
He read the 929. Where it says to.
No, you're froze, host.
It says to fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day. But it's basically saying like this was during the Byzantine Empire, like they were gonna assault and attack, and that's where like Allah was telling like, yeah, defend your land, like
He's comparing two different things. That makes no sense.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And then he's talking about the jizya, like the jizya is less than zakat. Like what do you want? And he's like, yeah, but there's no like set price for it. I'm like, yeah, okay, so let's go at the time period. Let's see what the price was. And he doesn't want to. Like I don't know, bro. He's trying. I think he's just trying to get famous.
No, he's gonna restart the stream. I think.
I don't know. He could do whatever he wants, bro.
You're gonna
Yeah,
come back?
can you guys hear me?
I mean, this is
Can you hear me?
futile, bro. You tell him something, and he just goes, "No, I'm not researching it. You show me." And then when you try and show him, he's like, "No, that's not true." And it's like, "All right, bro, it's just Google. Like, what do you want me to do?"
No, the thing is, I don't know how to explain it, but like when I talk to like Christians and debate them, they start going crazy. They cut me off.
Yo. This thing is jack. Oh, there you go. Hello? Yo.
Yo.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right, bet. Okay, go ahead. Where we at? Can we go back to the context real quick?
Oh, he left.
If you could just make your entire argument, you're saying, what is this? What are you trying to prove?
Yeah, so the brother was we were talking about why I don't like Islam, basically, compared to the other two religions. I don't personally pick a religion for myself, but I don't mind Christianity and I don't mind Judaism as much as Islam. Islam kind of is a little bit offensive. That's what we were talking about.
You're saying because it has war involved in it?
Not because it has war in it. No, it's just that the whole ideology of it is to subdue people. And I think that's kind of like disrespectful. I think that really takes away from what I think spirituality should be.
Okay. So when you say it subdues people, what do you mean? Like it forces them to believe something?
It doesn't really force them, but if I'm going to be honest with you, what it does seem to do is that it subjugates them until they feel like the best option is to become Muslim.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. That's the point of the religion, is to make people enter the religion.
Yeah. So to me, I just think that that's wrong. And if God is like that, then I don't really want to follow that type of God.
Wait,
send me to
can you
hell.
repeat it one more
But
time?
one second. But at the same time, I mean, that's the point of the religion, is to make people want to be Muslim. It's an evangelical religion, just like Christianity
Right.
is. But it allows other faiths to live in there, especially Jews and Christians. This is why, for the majority of Islamic history, the vast majority of the population live under Muslim rule was Christians, like for most of Islamic history. Like, and they stay Christians they're Christian today even.
Yeah, I get that, and they had to pay a jizya. I get that.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
so they had to pay a
It's the-
jizya. They're not allowed to open up new churches. They can't preach openly,
yeah.
right? So that's not
Yeah.
that's not it. So you guys try to always make it sound like it's cool, but it's not cool. It's basically like it's like basically saying like, yeah, you can be that, but like nobody else is ever going to be that, and your religion's going to die off over time.
But
It's
it
just
didn't.
not.
They thrived. That's why there's millions of Coptic Christians in Egypt, and the oldest Christian populations of the world lived under Muslim rule.
Yeah,
before 10.
but
They're
let's
still
go
there.
back. Let's go back to the actual verses though. So what do you think? You heard about the jizya conversation we were having, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's wrong with jizya?
Okay. So what do you think about jizya? Is it good? Is it you don't think is it forceful? Are you okay with the fact that it's a forceful thing?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a government, and under that context, governments you have to pay them taxes. So
Okay.
there's no issue with that.
So a couple of things that always come up when I talk about jizya is everyone always says they say, oh, but it's a small amount, right?
It's dependent on who's like, if it's a richer person, they pay more. Poor person pay less, and it depends on the leader at the time. But yeah,
Okay.
it's not
So
meant.
so correct. So there is no amount, right?
Yeah, but it's
So when
it's
Muslims
it
say
is
that it's a small amount, that's cap, right?
well, it's meant to not be oppressive. That's the ruling.
That's
But
actually
there have been
incorrect.
rulers.
That's actually what it is meant for.
Okay, can you show me where in
Yeah.
the Prophet
Yeah.
or
So
any of the earlier companions? I mean, you can
Quran.com.
read it. You can
Yeah.
read a verse, but it doesn't mean you understand the interpretation or anything.
Okay. So what am I supposed to
Wait,
do
what's
then?
your religion?
I'm not. I don't
Host.
have one. I don't have one, but I like Christianity the best, and
Oh,
I don't.
you go to the
Why do you like
consensus of the
Christianity the
scholars.
best?
Because I think they're the most close to what I believe God is, and they're pretty chill.
How? Can you explain it?
Bro, they're the most confusing religion.
Yeah, we could talk about that. But which part do you guys want me to go to
All right,
right now?
stick to the jizya. What's the issue?
Okay, so the jizya literally says here, the scripture were given those who, or you guys read backwards, right? My bad. Hold on. Just- until they pay the jizya willingly while they are subdued. That's literally what it says in Arabic.
So what's your point?
What I just said in the beginning, that you guys are going around trying to subdue or subjugate the world.
Of government 101, it's not even a controversial.
I understand that, my brother, but you make it sound as if there's Islam, the religion, and Islam, the government. It's one and the same.
Yeah, I know. And there's the theology,
So
which
there
is
is
the belief in
no,
God.
but there is no
the government.
theology in Islam apart from the government. It's one thing. The
There is.
theology is
There
the
is.
government. It would be a
So
theocracy, right?
yeah. So what I
Okay.
mean by that is there's the government. They do
There
the
is
rules.
not
They
the
do the
government, and
guidelines.
the laws in the land would be based off of the Quran, right?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
so there's no separation. Like I'm not trying to nitpick at you, but I just, because people get confused when you say that. They might take that and be like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess it's fine to let a bunch of Muslims in." It's not. When you let a bunch of
Yeah.
Muslims in, what you're basically saying is they're gonna, if for example, in America, they would rip up the Constitution.
Well, that's not how that works. So
How
when
does
we
it
go
work?
into lands that, so
I'm not
in
saying when
order
you come
for
into land. I'm not
in
saying when
order
you come
for
into land. Yeah, they would
I'm not you
hijack
cut
the
off.
they would hijack the democratic process to get rid of it. They would
Within their
do.
right. That's within their right, though. If
I'm
they
not
did
saying
that, they would legally be going within their right.
right. So
That's for sure.
I don't like I said, this is not something
It's
that
not
like
over.
anybody can do anything about right now. But what I'm saying is, if people knew that, I don't think they would allow it as easily as they currently do, because they believe what you said earlier, which is like, oh no, there's the theology and then there's the government, and we're not gonna subjugate you. We're just gonna be, and it's just bullshit, at the end of the day. So I just want to make that clear, So, but I do want to talk
I
about
mean, to
though,
be
if you,
honest with you, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, I do want to talk with you, clarify for everybody your take on what the context of this jizya verse was. Because everybody says, oh, this is a time of war. And my response to that is, okay, what war was going on? Because when I read it, the verse prior to that, Allah is telling Muhammad that the polytheists are to be kicked out of Mecca. And so if anything, they're the ones waging the war here. This is not defensive. This is Allah telling Muhammad the polytheists are not to come here no more. And if you fear being poor, then fight them until they pay the jizya. That's literally what it says. So I want you to explain to me how I got that wrong, or do you agree with me or what?
So is this chapter 9?
Yeah, 9, 28, and
Well,
29.
So chapter 9 is one of the last verses or chapters that to be revealed. This is after the 13 years in Mecca and after Medina, right? So they already got tortured and killed and prosecuted and all that stuff. So this is them coming back to the land
To
with
take it
victory.
over.
So these basically, yeah, this is victory. So these are the rulings for
So just let me be fair to you and let me give everybody context. So what you're saying is that Muhammad started a new religion, right, in Mecca, and he was not accepted, right? And so he went to Medina, right?
Yeah, so he
Same page,
started a
right?
religion, preached there's one God, and then his people rejected him like they do all the prophets.
Right. Supposedly. But they rejected Muhammad in Mecca because they were all polytheists. In Mecca is where the Kaaba is, and they had all their idols there, right? And then Muhammad went to
Yeah,
Medina, he gathered a bunch of people, and then came back and took it over, right?
yeah. So he went to
Okay.
Medina, and then once he went to Medina, they attacked him in Medina. By the way, so they chased him to Medina. They attacked him again. They signed a peace treaty. He signed a peace treaty with them, and then they broke that peace treaty. And then they didn't attack. They came another year, and they gave him another year, and then they came back. So after,
Okay.
yeah, yes,
Okay. But anyway, at some point, Muhammad did gain the advantage, right?
yeah. After they broke the
Okay.
peace treaty up,
And so at that point is when this verse is revealed, right?
yeah. Once they conquered, that's
Yeah.
victory. Yeah.
So then by definition, that would not be defensive anymore, right?
No, this is conquering. They're conquering.
This is offensive, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can say
Okay.
that.
So now let me, because again, I think I know what this means, but most Muslims don't want to admit it, and I just want to get your point of view. So at that point, when he's already got the advantage and he comes back to conquer the land of Mecca, this verse is revealed to him, and Allah tells him, "O believers, the polytheists are spiritually impure, so they should not approach the sacred mosque after this year." Right? So he's saying from now on, y'all are blocked from coming to Mecca, right? Which in their time period would have been a loss of income, right? We agree so
To,
far?
to the leaders of Croatia.
To everybody, because Muhammad was a tradesperson too, right? They all
Yeah, but
traded.
only the leaders of Croatia benefited from the
Okay. So
pilgrimage
then you
because they
explain to me
still
why
have
he says
idols.
this. So explain to me why Allah says this then in this verse. Because he says, "Indeed, the polytheists are not allowed to come here anymore." And then verse 2, "If you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you." Can you explain that part? Why is it that when he says the polytheists are not to come here no more, but if you fear poverty, don't worry because I'm going to enrich you? Why would they fear poverty from the
Could you read
polytheists not being there? Go ahead.
Could you read the whole verse?
Okay. "If you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you out of his bounty if he wills. Surely Allah is knowing and all wise." Okay.
Okay, so
So
it's
either Allah's going to make money rain down from the sky or he's about to give him a solution, right? Right? And
no.
the
So when
solution
Allah,
is, so the solution in the next verse says, "Fight those who do not believe in Allah and make them pay jizya." So we can agree then that that was the solution for their poverty of kicking out the polytheists, right?
wow. So two things wrong with that. So if the polytheists they don't pay jizya,
At
that
that
isn't
point, they didn't, but this was the verse of telling them to start doing that.
no. The polytheists don't pay jizya. Only Christians and Jews pay jizya. But what's your point? Like, are you saying yes? The reason that people pay jizya to the government is for the government can have funds to run their government. That's the purpose of the tax.
Okay, good. So we're on
That's
the
what the
same
tax
page
is.
that the jizya is not defensive, right? It's offensive.
Jizya is a tax for the
I
people
get
who
it,
live under the
but
land.
it's not defensive. It's offensive.
It's I
It's
don't know
this is
what
what happened. This was a migration, right? This was, what do you guys call it? A
it's a
migration.
conquering.
It's a
When you take
conquering,
over
yeah.
land, When you take over land, it's your land.
You
Whoever
land.
runs the land, they get the taxes paid to them. That's just how the world works. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So in a perfect Muslim world, you guys would conquer the whole world, right? And subjugate the whole world, right?
We would. I mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if Islam took over the world, they would. That's obviously
Okay.
what they would as a government. So it's
So
like
then,
if the British Empire takes over the world, they're gonna do whatever. It's empire. It's a government.
right, right. But the difference is that no other country is like actively trying to take over the whole world, right?
I mean, it depends on what you
Or let
say.
me word it this way: do you think it's okay? Whose microphone is that?
That's another.
That's mine, host. I just got a quick question. Sorry
Hold on,
about the
hold on,
noise
hold
in the.
on. Let me just make my quick statement before that. Do you think it's okay for people to be actively trying to subjugate the whole world while at the same time crying about Islamophobia? Do you think that's okay?
Well, that's a very good question. So I don't
Okay.
think I think that's a contradiction. I think if you're crying about Islamophobia, you're not
Mm.
trying. You're not trying to take over the world. You're actually being victimized.
So are they confused about what Islam actually is? Those Muslims that are crying about Islamophobia?
I mean, I don't know. You gotta ask them. But me personally, I wouldn't say that's the right thing to do. Is cry about
So you would
Islamophobia.
understand why somebody would be against Islam then, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. Who wanted to ask a question?
My question, host. Sorry for the background and the noise and the
Yeah.
factory. Which one would you be more okay with? Paying 2.5 tax jizya that covers the schools, all public stuff, or paying 30% tax of your check and living check to check? Which one seems better to you?
Okay. Now, Tarek, can you tell me where you're getting that from?
I live in the United States. My check goes about 30% to taxes.
No, the 2%.
So the 2.5%.
Yeah.
That's what we pay, right? I can look it up. Like when if you're asking
You pay
how do we come
jizya?
up with, if you say how do you come up with the number 2.5, I don't live in a Muslim country. I live in America.
Okay. So
So if
why?
you're saying okay, go on. That's the question.
What I'm saying is because this is what I was asking earlier. Is everyone always says that it's a small amount, but as far as I know, there is no set amount. So I'm curious why you're landing on 2.5.
That's the amount that I know that it is. I can do my research later, come back and let you know where we get the 2.5
Okay.
from.
Yeah.
But it seems like you have a problem with the 2.5,
No, bro,
but you don't have a problem.
my brother.
No, I know. I know what you're saying. You're saying how do we land on 2.5?
There is no.
But it's
The
not a
point is
set
that
amount.
you don't land on 2.5. There is no 2.5. That you're
Okay.
making that up right now. There is no
Okay.
2.5.
Okay. I'll be back. I'll stay
Okay.
on. I'm gonna mute my mic.
All right. Appreciate it. So Clay, now let's talk about Christianity. Then, what's your issue with Christianity? Clay, you still with me? Anybody? And if anybody's listening, we're talking about today. What does one God have to do with Muhammad? And we're trying to just get the opinions of Muslims, Christians, Jews. Let's talk about religion in general. If you got an opinion, if you got a question, come up. Yeah, I'm trying to understand why Muslims don't leave people alone.
So I understand is you have a problem with that. There's not a fixed that we don't show that there's a fixed amount that is 2.5%, right?
Say that again. What?
So what I understand is you want proof that shows, hey, the jizya is 2.5%, right?
No. So my position is that I don't really care if it's 1 penny. The point of the jizya is to humiliate other people.
Could
So
you show me where I know where did you get that it's
from
to
the Quran.
humiliate? If it's show me in the Quran where it says to humiliate, because I heard you just read it that it says about humble. But again, if it's to humiliate people, wouldn't that be to take their money and do whatever it is you want and put it in your back pocket and not use it on the public and give them all the good public stuff that we get?
No.
That wouldn't make sense to you, would it?
No, what I'm saying is that your definition of humiliating people is wrong.
So you tell me what the definition of humiliate somebody is.
So if somebody comes into my land and takes my money for whatever reason or for whatever amount, I'm going to be humiliated.
So if the land is conquered like America's conquered, and they took it over from the Indians, and now we're paying 30% tax, would you say all of us Americans are being humiliated when we pay that 30% tax?
No, what I'm trying to explain to you is that Islam is a religion, and you're trying to compare a religion to a country, to a secular country. Now, if you're admitting to me that Islam is a political system, then you would agree that we should be against being taken over by another political system, right?
I wouldn't know exactly what you're talking about now. I'm talking about the taxes and the problem you have with the taxes.
But you can't.
I find it's to me. I heard you talk like I'm not trying to be rude or nothing. To me, it's crazy that you have a problem with 2.5, but you don't have a problem with 30% taxes.
My brother,
It doesn't make any sense.
My brother, again, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Like the 2.5, what I'm saying about the 2.5 is that it does not exist. Okay, that's number one, but that's not my main point. I want everybody to understand there is no 2.5. Show me where it says 2.5. It does not say that. It's up to.
I know, but I know it doesn't.
So
say
now,
that. What I'm telling you is, I know it doesn't say 2.5, but what
correct.
I'm telling you is, since your problem is that it doesn't show 2.5.
No, that is not my main problem, though. That's why I don't want to get stuck there. I'm just telling you.
You asked me. My bad. I got cut off.
Go ahead.
So you asked me my issue with Christianity.
Huh?
You asked me what was the issue of Christianity.
Yeah. Because the other thing that I have is like I don't understand like Jews and Christians don't believe the same thing, right? We both agree on that. But it's like they don't have an issue with each other. But it's like Islam comes and is like, yeah, nope, everybody's wrong. Matter of fact, your books are wrong. Everything you ever thought is wrong. Your God is wrong. Your God's name's not even that. Like, I'm taking your holy land. Like, it's just crazy. Like, it just seems like y'all are just really offensive, and then you get mad when people take offense.
Christian crusaders, I would just say that.
One second. I would disagree. So I would say that Islam is the religion that actually unifies all the previous scriptures. If you look into the history between Christians and Jews, there's never been a time where Jews lived comfortably under Christians up until like the last 100 years. But the Jews lived under Muslim rule since the inception of Islam. The Muslims actually saved the Jews.
All right, brother.
They took over the Byzantine. They took over Jerusalem.
All right, brother, I got you. Okay, so let's break it down. Okay, first of all, what's wrong with the Jewish religion?
They reject Jesus and they reject the Prophet Muhammad. So they reject the prophets.
Okay, but what's wrong with their religion?
I mean, that's what I would say theologically. They're very similar to Muslims in terms of like,
Nick Fuentes for
president. So there's nothing wrong with their religion then. So there's nothing wrong with their religion then.
The main problem, the big red flag, they reject the final messenger. That would be
okay, but like let's just speak let's just speak here like regular people, right? Like you could understand that if according to your own admission, their religion seems legit. It seems good. I don't see anything wrong with it from a monotheistic. Correct, I get that. So from a monotheistic standpoint, because what is the point of being alive on Earth, right? What is the whole point?
To worship.
Is it to worship Muhammad or is it to worship Allah?
To worship the creator of the universe.
Correct. So they were doing that before Muhammad came, right?
Well, that's a good question. So the Jews were sent majority of the prophets because they kept changing the teachings that God gave them.
Okay, now let me ask you, what teachings were they changing?
For example, they would try to bend rules and stuff. For example, like
what?
The Sabbath, they would come out to work, and then they would put put the nets out on Friday.
Okay,
And
so
say,
but okay, now pause there,
yes,
pause there, right there. Where are you getting that information from?
we're getting the Sabbath breaking.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Quran talks about it. Even the New Testament speaks about it.
Right. So from their own book that they wrote that you supposedly say is corrupted.
Yeah. So I never. So their book that they have, the teachings that they have, it has been
No, bro,
altered.
I'm not asking you that. We're talking about they like you said that they're corrupting the laws, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
only reason you know that is because they wrote about it for you to read it, right?
Yeah. So personally, I believe it because the Quran says it, but then also in their
Yeah.
own scripture affirms it.
Correct. Yeah. So they're not denying it. They're not hiding it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now when they write about those things, in what context did they write about it? Did they write about it in the sense of like we did the right thing or we did the wrong thing when we did that?
Well, that's a good question. It depends how you look at it.
Have you ever looked at it?
Yeah, it's written more just in a historical sense.
No.
But in the New Testament, it's
brother,
spoken
brother,
about.
brother. Anytime the Jews wrote about what they did in terms of whatever, breaking any laws, not just the Sabbath, they always wrote it in the terms of that they were doing the wrong thing.
Really?
They were simply just recording the consequences of their bad actions.
Okay. I mean, I would disagree. I would say,
But
in the
you
New Testament,
okay,
speaks
but
about it
where
directly.
how can you
And
disagree?
when they speak about it, they're speaking about it in a historical sense. Only example I can really think of is, yeah, the net and the Sabbath.
My brother, do you know, for example, when Muhammad he forbade himself something that was made permissible by Allah, right?
No.
Okay, in the Quran, there's stories like where Muhammad is being kind of like low key rebuked by Allah, where Allah says, "Oh, why did you prohibit yourself something that Allah had made permissible to you?" Right. So Muhammad, the idea there is that Muhammad was stopping doing something that Allah had given him permission to do, and and Allah is like rebuking him for that, correcting him, right? And that little situation is recorded in the Quran. So I could say, oh yeah, Muhammad, at least he was being honest about his mistakes. That same stuff is what the Jews are doing in the Old Testament. They show you where Moses, they clearly say there's a whole story where Moses gave them the 10 Commandments and the tablets, and they say in there that it's from God. It's in there that it's from God. And then they say, yeah, we kept it, but then later we forgot and we broke it, and then God punished us and he took away our land and killed us or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then we came back, and then God protected us. And then we messed up again, and then he destroyed us again, and then we kept it again. Do you get does that sound like corruption, or does that sound like just mistakes that they were making in regular human nature?
Yeah, but they're still doing it. That's the problem.
I'm not asking you that, bro. Do you commit sin?
Of course.
You still doing it, even though
Of
Allah
course.
told you not to?
Of course.
So how is that?
That's
So
a
are
good
you
point.
rejecting the
That's a good point.
prophet?
No, that's a very good point. It's not about committing a sin. If you commit a sin and say, I committed a sin, that's a one thing. But if you try to like make loopholes and stuff like that, that's where the issue comes in. That's what the Jews were doing. Like, they were trying to
How?
make loopholes. They
So
were trying
what
to make
loop?
it like they were sinning. You understand what I'm saying?
All right, I don't know if you're gonna ever like submit submit to the truth right now, but this is what I see. This is what I see. What I see is the Jews. They're monotheistic. I don't see any issues with that. That's what you guys want to be. They believe in Yahweh. Y'all believe in Allah. So of course I could understand why they would reject your prophet. You believe in a different God according to them, right?
No.
And
We believe in the same God. They believe we believe the same God. That's across
they
the board.
no, but this is what they think. They think that you believe in a God, which is of course they according to them there's only one God. So if you believe in God, then you have to believe in the same God. But you don't call your God Yahweh, right?
Why don't they believe in the Christian God? And if you read the right works, any rabbi, classical rabbi, they would agree that the Muslims worship the one true God.
My brother, I get what you're saying, right? But when you take them from Judaism to Islam, they would no longer be able to believe in Yahweh, right?
Yeah. They believe that they don't believe in Islam because they believe what was given to Moses is meant for them.
Correct. Now, from a like, if you're God and you see that, do you see that as a bad thing?
Actually, no. Even the Quran says this. If they actually believed in the Torah and the gospel, it would be good, but they don't. That's the issue. That's why they have to be
But
sent.
that's what I'm trying to get you to understand is like the Torah, it doesn't exist according to you. But then when I ask you, okay, what are they doing wrong? You don't even know. Nobody knows apparently.
No, I just explained to you the loopholes around sinning.
Correct. Which is like you said. Okay, what's the loopholes? I'm curious actually about that.
So
What
remember,
loopholes?
they're not supposed to work on the Sabbath. So what
Okay,
they do
but
is
did they make a loophole or did they just break it and then realize that they were wrong and then came back to it?
No, they made a loophole. They
Like
they
what?
put the net out on Friday,
Okay,
and then
so they
on
broke
Sunday
it,
they'll come
but did
back.
they? What I'm asking you is, did they code? Okay, but did they codify that loophole?
Yeah. So here's the point. They're not supposed to fish on the Sabbath, right?
I understand
So
that. What I'm asking you,
we're
did
not
they
fishing.
change, brother? But I'm asking, did they change the law or did they just make a mistake on a certain Sabbath?
No, they tried to make a loophole, like breaking the
Where?
Sabbath. Okay, I'm gonna explain to you. Okay, so you can look this up. I'm not in front of my
My brother,
computer.
it's just that it's
Verse.
you're making it sound as if okay, do Jews today believe that it's okay to break the Sabbath?
They know breaking the Sabbath is a sin. That's not the
So
issue. They agree on that, right? The issue is they try to make loopholes. Like they do something, and they put
right
the net
now,
out on Friday, right? And then Saturday they're technically not fishing, but
my
the fish
brother,
still get caught in the net on that Sabbath.
my brother, look, my brother, look. People are trying to live out their life, right? However you may think, I don't know what even you're talking about, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the corruption of the scriptures, right?
Yeah, so it's
So
just they reject the messengers. Like God sends
my
messengers,
my
so
brother,
they
okay,
follow them.
but according to you, I'm trying to break. Why did they even need another messenger? If according to you, okay, they break the Sabbath, okay. But they know that they're supposed to keep the Sabbath. So what is the other messenger supposed to tell them? Something they already know?
So you believe in Christianity, right? You believe in Jesus and all that.
I, that's what
John the
Christians believe.
Baptist.
I'm asking you about Jews right now.
Yeah,
We're gonna move on
yeah, I
to
know.
Christians next.
It's the same thing. So Jesus was sent to the Jews, right? Because why was he sent to the Jews? Why was John the Baptist sent to the Jews? Why was
Yeah,
Zechariah sent to
why
the
was
Jews?
he sent to the Jews? I answer that. Why was he sent to the Jews?
Because they were not following the Torah that was given to them properly. All the prophets after Moses just told the Jews to go back to the Torah because the Pharisees were changing it, corrupting all that stuff.
Okay, so
It's
do
just
you have evidence of that?
okay. Well, Jesus' testimony in the New Testament is that evidence? Would that count?
Yes, that would be the evidence. Yes.
Okay, yeah, Jesus sent to
So
the
so show me
Pharisees.
where Jesus told the Pharisees that they weren't keeping the Sabbath.
And not it's not about keeping the Sabbath, it's about
That's what we
following
were
the
talking
law.
about this whole time.
Well, I gave you an example of how they're making loopholes using the Sabbath. That's what I'm
Okay, and
saying.
then you said that
It's not
Jesus,
breaking the Sabbath. It's not about not breaking the Sabbath. To
but
break the
Jesus broke.
Sabbath is a sin, right?
Uh-huh.
That's a sin. That's
Yep.
okay. But that's not what they did. They tried to justify it by making a loophole.
Okay, can you
Saying,
show
"Oh,
me
we're not
where?
breaking
Can
the
you
Sabbath."
show me that?
I don't have a computer in front, but you can look it up. It's like
There,
Sabbath
there,
breakers
there
net
is
or something.
none. There is none, brother.
Just look it. Just Google it. See,
What you're?
very
I
famous.
know those verses. What you're referring to is where one person out of the whole tribe would break the Sabbath, and then what would happen to that person?
Look up the verse.
Brother, I know the verse. Just tell you if you know the story. Do you know the story? If not, I'll tell you what
Yeah,
happened to
but
that person.
it was a group, and from what I remember, it was a group. It wasn't one person.
I don't. It was not a group. And the whole point, like I said, the only reason you know about these stories is because they're in the Torah, and they wrote them in the Torah, and they said, "Look, this guy broke the Sabbath," and they would take him and unalive him. So, what loophole are you talking about?
Yeah, so it's the difference between the fisher on the Sabbath. Just look up the story. I think just so we don't get just stuck up on the story.
All right, look, you're gonna really drag this out. It's like I'm telling you because I know, and you're telling me because you don't know, but then you're trying to act like you do know. So what do you want me to
Now,
type
what's
in?
the,
Sabbath
what's the point?
breaker?
What's the point? No, so what argument you make? Why do we reject Judaism?
Because you're saying that Jews are making loopholes, and then I'm asking you for a reference, and you're saying that it's the Sabbath breakers in the Bible. In the Bible, the only Sabbath breakers you see, they get unalived. So
What?
where's the loophole?
Sabbath net fishing, whatever. Break. I don't know.
Sabbath net fishing?
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to reference it. I'm not verbal.
Jews fishing net on a Sabbath. Okay, the only thing that comes up is nothing in the Bible. It's just Muslim websites.
Uh-oh.
Why is that?
But yeah, so that's just what we believe, right? But you want me to prove
I
to you
get that, my brother, but the question here is, I want to know what scriptures the Jews corrupted. And
How
you
about
are
this?
so far.
I'll make it easy. How about this? The Jews believe in a God that is just for them, their ethnicity, right? Their people.
That's not
a
true.
universal God.
I can show you
What?
verses in the Bible where that's not true.
So are you saying that the Jews believe that their God is a universal God, not their God personally?
Correct.
Okay.
I can literally show you that in their own book, in their Torah.
Okay. So everybody can have salvation with the Jewish God?
Sure.
You don't have to be
Yes.
Jewish? Okay.
You have to be Jewish. You would become a Jew.
Like an ethnic Jew.
Oh, that's
Children of
no.
Israel.
You don't.
Children
You
of
don't.
Israel.
No, you don't have to
That's
be
what
a
I'm
child of
claiming.
Israel.
That's what I'm claiming. Is like a children of, you have to be a child of
You
Isaac
don't.
to have salvation.
I'm telling you, you don't, and I
To
can show you
Judaism.
that.
Okay. I didn't know that. It's news to me.
Okay, so now we're in agreement, right? As far as we can tell, we have no idea what the Jews are corrupting, right?
Yeah. So I
Because they
would
believe
say
in one God, they still believe in the
that's the
same
problem.
stuff that they used to
But
believe in.
they're rejecting the messenger that God sent them.
Okay, but what I'm asking you is, and this is what I asked you earlier, is the point of being alive on this planet, is it to believe in the next messenger or is it to believe in Allah?
To believe in Allah, but how do you believe in Allah without believing in His messengers?
Correct. But according to the Jews, they already feel like they're believing in his messenger, which was Moses. And then
Yeah.
Muslims come with a different message. So can you blame them? It's like if I came with another message right now and I said, "Oh, I'm the next messenger, just believe me." You'd be like, "No."
That is the biggest contention for Jews is they believe that Moses is the final prophet.
They're following a prophet, and that's why I'm asking you, like, what are they not following from Moses? Because if you told me that, then I would understand. But as far as I know, they still have the same Torah.
Yeah, and then you'd have to ask, if they were following the same Torah by the T, then why did God keep sending so many other messengers to them?
Where? That's what I'm asking you, is where did they do that?
Every messenger. Okay, did God send messengers after Moses and prophets after Moses?
Not with a different law. Not with a different law. They sent prophets.
To affirm the Torah, right?
No, not to affirm the Torah. It was just prophets.
I know, but what they taught them the Torah. These prophets were teaching the Torah, right?
No, not as far as I don't see any stories in the Bible where like Jeremiah was teaching the Torah. Jeremiah was just coming to prophesy the punishment that they would get for breaking the Torah.
Yeah. So Torah is the law. So the prophets came to uphold the law, right? So David, Solomon, John the Baptist, Zechariah, they came because they weren't upholding the law, right?
So okay, perfect. So if you think about it in that context, right? They get the law from Moses. The next prophet that comes is telling them, remember the law. The next prophet that comes says, remember the law. The next prophet that comes, remember the law. The next prophet, and then finally you get all the way to Muhammad 4,000 years later, and he's like, forget the law. New law.
Jesus came before him, and he
sure, but that applies to Jesus too. I could understand why they rejected Jesus too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So now explain that. How do you justify that? You get prophet after prophet reminding them to go back to Moses, because it makes sense. If Moses came with the message, right, then why would it ever be needed to be changed?
Yeah, that's their biggest point of contention. Yeah.
I know that, but what's your response? What's your justification for that? What's your logical reasoning?
Because the God that sent Moses sent a prophet with the final message, clarifies everything. You know.
Yeah. All right, but you could understand why they wouldn't accept it, though, right? I think we can agree on that.
Yeah. So we make the argument that it's clear they should accept it, and then they say no, we don't because it's not from Moses, and that's the point of contention.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's move on to Christianity. What's your issue with Christianity?
I believe that Christianity is not suitable for the world because it doesn't offer solutions to the world's problems.
Okay. So
How?
is the point of being on the planet to find a solution to the world's problems, or is it to go to heaven?
It's to worship the Creator, which means to live the way that the Creator wants you to live, which means you live in harmony with nature.
Okay. So let's say you live in an evil satanic world, but you worship the Creator. Are you still going to heaven?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So what's the problem?
No, the reason you're on the planet is to worship the Creator.
Okay.
Right?
If
The result of
anything
that-
bad happens to you right now, what would you say that is? If something bad happens to you on this earth.
Well, we believe in predestination, so everything comes from God.
Right. So you would say that that's a test from Allah, right?
Correct.
So good or bad, you're the only explanation is, oh yeah, Allah willed it that way, right?
Yeah, good and bad is just perspective.
It's just perspective, correct? So
Couldn't be. Oh, could I say something real quick? It can't be perspective because if it's predestined, that means it was Allah's will, whether good or bad. That's not perspective. He willed it because from the very beginning, He wrote everything to be set with the
Yeah.
pen. It wrote
Yeah.
everything to the day of judgment. So it wouldn't be perspective. It was set in stone.
yeah, but my thing right now is not about the predestination part. I just want to make sure is because Muslims have this big thing where they're like, we must control the world to work in a certain way. That's their whole thing. And I'm like, for what? That's the question.
Then that's propaganda because there's no reason. I mean, the Quran doesn't even tell you that the world has to function a certain way. If your job is to only worship the Creator, which is the message that was always sent, then to have the world run a certain way doesn't matter because at the end of the day, this world is gonna go as well because
Yeah, it's gonna go to yeah. The end's gonna come anyway. So it's like
The
you're
end's
doing
gonna
something
come.
for no reason. It's like
for no
just
reason.
let them go to hell. Like, what's your problem with the Jews and the Christians? Let them go to hell. You guys go to heaven. Leave us alone.
Exactly.
That's a good point. But Islam teaches that Jews and Christians are allowed to believe what they believe in, and that most people are not going to believe in Islam. So
My
it
brother.
doesn't change the fact that we're supposed to create an Islamic environment.
Okay, and again, I keep saying it is just the same thing. If that's how you feel, and you think that like people should like, you get it why people don't like Islam, right? Like you guys just came out of nowhere.
I thought you said Hope he was moving on to Christianity. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm just curious. What's
We're
your
talking
problem
about
with
we're
Yeah,
talking
but
about
what's your
Christianity.
But you keep talking about Islam. You said moving on to Christianity. So now you as the host, what problems do you have with Christianity?
Oh no, I was gonna ask him what his problems are with Christianity, not what my
I mean,
problems are.
I know, but I'm asking you. I'm asking you as the host.
I don't
My
have.
thing was it doesn't have solutions to the world problem. Or you can't implement Christianity on a global scale.
Right,
So
right.
it's
But
just-
we already agreed that that's not the point of Christianity, right?
But my question is real quick.
Hold on, Tarek. Go. I'm sorry, Tarek. I cut you by mistake. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
No, yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
So I'm not trying to be rude and cut in or nothing. But what the Muslim brother said, and I agree with him, it doesn't offer a problem to the world solution. But my question to you is, you have a problem with Islam, but you don't have no problem with Christianity, is what I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah, correct.
But
So
you
go
don't
ahead.
have a problem with Christianity where Jesus says in the Bible, I come with a sword, I don't come for peace.
Yeah, and where
You
does
don't
that
have
sword?
a problem with that.
Correct. And where does that sword come from?
So you don't have a problem with, go kill all the babies and the Amalek and all. You don't have a problem with none
My
of
brother,
that.
my brother. Are we talking about the Jews or the Christians now?
I told you, we're talking about the Christians. You said
Okay.
moving on to Christianity.
Okay,
And
so
you
why
said
are you
don't
bringing
have-
up? So why are you bringing up Amalek?
Well, it's in the Old Testament, New Testament. The Christians
That's-
believe it as their book.
Brother,
So-
okay. All right,
so
look.
what-
if we're
what-
going to be
what I understand-
disingenuous, no, because now you're being disingenuous now, and you're not going to do this. You specifically dragged me over to the Christian side, but you want to bring over Jewish beliefs. So
Do the
pick a
Christians
side,
believe that too? Do the
brother.
Christians
My
believe that
brother,
too?
my brother. Okay, I'm gonna give you one more chance to drop it, and or else I'm gonna just drop you.
So you said you wanted to
All
move on
right.
to Christianity. When I
Yes, we're
mentioned
moving.
Christianity,
Correct.
you
So
said you don't
now,
have a problem with it. So that
uh-huh.
means you should be a Christian. If you don't have a problem with
Okay.
Christianity,
All
you
right.
should be a
Perfect.
Christian.
Okay. Perfect. So now, I'm trying to explain to you that Jews, I'm sorry, that Christians, they don't try to take over the world. They don't try to have solutions to all the world's problems. Now, according to y'all, but I'm asking you, what is the problem with that from a spiritual point of view? And it doesn't seem like you guys have an answer.
Oh, spiritually, I believe that this whole premise of Christianity it's contradictory because they say that Jesus died for your sins, which means that the creator of the universe, the way he created the world, was that
Are you
somebody
Shia or
else
Sunni?
was like somebody else will bear your burden of
Yeah.
your
Are you
sin.
Shia or Sunni?
I'm Sunni. But
Okay.
in
So you
Islam,
also believe the same thing,
I believe what?
that somebody else will die for your sin.
No, absolutely not.
That's in the
You get judged.
that is in the hadith.
So there's a Quran verse. That's your interpretation. There's a Quran verse that says
Brother,
every
okay, all
soul,
right. We're gonna pull it up then.
every
All right.
soul will be paid in full for
All
everything
right,
they
let's
did.
see. Let's
Small
see if
stuff.
that's my interpretation. Hold on a second.
I'm just saying, like, even if
I
there
know.
is a, even if
No,
you pull up
because
a
but you
hadith,
can't use that though,
one
because
second.
you can't
Even if
use
you
it
pull
if
up a
it is.
hadith, I know. Even if
Uh-huh.
you pull up a hadith, I just quoted a Quran verse, so it doesn't matter.
I know,
Interpretation's wrong.
but you try to. That's why I asked you if you were Sunni, because if you're just gonna stick to Quran only, then you're not Sunni, right?
Yeah, but if the hadith that you're pulling up contradicts the
I'm
Quran
not
verse
saying
that you
it's gonna
said,
contradict. I don't know what it is. You have to explain it to me.
yeah, but so you're gonna ignore the Quran verse I
No.
just gave
I
you?
just want you to. I have to understand. You decided to be a Sunni, not me, right? So that means you wanted to add on the hadith to your Quran.
Yeah, I get that, but I just quoted you a Quran verse saying that everybody will be paid in full for every single deed, and
Okay,
you don't
but
accept that.
now,
You don't think that's you gotta
I,
bring something else up?
if you were Quran only, I would accept it from you. But since you're not, I have to hold you to your hadith.
Okay, so if there's a Quran verse that says point blank, every soul gets
My brother,
accountable
you're
for
asking
everything
the
they did,
same
right?
question again. So do you want me to show it to you, and then you can tell me what it means as a Sunni?
Yeah, but you're gonna okay. I will. I'll explain it to you, but you have to concede that you're ignoring the Quran verse because you don't really care.
No, I don't have to concede. You have to explain your contradiction.
There's no contradiction. I just gave a Quran verse.
That's a contradiction then, right? If one verse says everyone will die for their own sin, and the hadith says that a Christian and a Jew will die in the place of your sins, then that is literally a contradiction, right?
But even just not even getting into that, if there
Huh?
is a contradiction, right? Just not even get into the context and how it's what you're saying is like
You don't sound very
wrong.
Sunni right now.
One second. Even just not even get into that. If there's a contradiction, the Quran says something, Hadith says something, then just go with the Quran says.
Okay, so you're
Very
not a
simple.
Sunni then. So Quran only.
The Quran is the highest authority of Scripture. So even
All
if
right.
there is
Anyway, all
Hadith,
right. I just want everybody to see how hadith is Sunni is important, but until it's not, it gets thrown under the
I
bus.
just,
No
told you
problem.
that
Okay,
Quran
no
is the
problem.
number one
No
authority of
problem. No
Scripture.
problem. Okay. So
Very
now,
simple, bro.
no problem. No problem. No problem. So now, when I look at somebody dying for my sins, that makes sense to me. Why doesn't it make sense to you?
Because to me it seems like you're held accountable for the actions that you do, and that's just how the world works.
Okay, but
So
are
if
you like
somebody,
against somebody dying for your sins? Like if I wanted to die for your sins, would you stop me?
well, I wouldn't think it would be just if you're
No, you
innocent.
would, yeah, brother. Please let like I know that you're trying to be like you're just trying to like you want this to make so much sense. I'm not asking you if like it's just.
If I
I'm
committed
asking
a
you,
crime,
would you
if I
stop
committed,
me? No, I'm
if,
asking you, would you stop me from doing it?
if
If
I,
it's Judgment Day and you're about to go to hell, right? And
oh,
I
of
come, I'm
course,
like, no, get out the way. I'm gonna take all his sins. You're gonna be like, that's not
of course,
justice. Take me to hell. That's what you're gonna say.
yeah, of course, I would want you to instead of me get punished, you get punished. Of course, I
Of
would.
course. Oh, okay. So now,
That's
the
that
Christian
doesn't make
belief is that Jesus did that. So I
yeah.
want to
It's easy.
know. So we already know that you're not inherently against that,
Yeah,
right?
of course, it's
So then
injustice
why are you trying to take a stance against it?
because it's not justice for an
Okay.
innocent
So
person.
you're trying to save God. That's what you're saying now.
Well, I don't
You're
think
like, no, God, stop it. You're not being just like you.
who am I
Yeah,
saving God?
that's not what I'm trying to get. Is that that's not like down to the heart of it for you. I know it's not.
Who am I saving God from?
Apparently, from not being just to himself,
I
which
mean,
is weird.
but
How
God,
do you
something
know
else.
what's just? What is
Huh?
just? What
Okay,
is
very good
just?
question. You being held responsible for the actions that
According
you
to
do.
who?
That's my belief. Like you do a
Okay.
crime, you
Okay, cool. So when you sin, do you sin against yourself or do you sin against God?
sin against
Okay, so
God.
then justice
So,
would be totally arbitrarily decided by God, right?
well, to an extent, you could say that. But
Okay.
how would you know justice on earth if we just go by
He
God?
could send his
Orally?
messenger the
Huh?
same way he does now. He would send his messenger, right? He would come tell you that he would die for his sins.
Okay, very good. So would you believe that it's just and it's normal and it's natural for people when they commit a sin to expect the innocent person to get punished for that
But
sin?
but if I'm a Muslim, right? What does Muslim mean? Submission to the will of God, right?
Yeah.
So can I question God if that's what he wants to do?
Of course, you don't question God what He wants to do, but
Huh?
if something's unjust, it's unjust. The way He created the world,
That's what
the
I'm trying to
law,
explain to you, brother. You're not being a good Muslim right now.
how I'm not. It's not about me being a Muslim. It's about saying that being punished for somebody else's sin is unjust. That's what I'm saying.
According to who?
Okay, do you believe?
Say it according to you, right?
No. Okay, do you believe that it's justice when somebody gets
I don't
punished
know
for?
what I can't say what justice is because I'm not God. So I can't.
I
It's
don't,
not up to me to say, oh, if I sin against God, God has to do X, Y, and Z. I can't say that.
in this world that we live
That's
in, right?
arrogance. That's
No, in
arrogance.
this world that we live in, we look at God and our religion to show us how the world works, right? How we're supposed to live in this world, right? So
No,
if
no.
your worldview, and that's why I said my problem was if your worldview is the ultimate is somebody's dying for my sins, that means that I'm not responsible for my actions. That's what you're telling me.
So
Somebody's gonna,
now, so okay, so what is unjust? Again, if God wants to die for your sins, how does that ruin the world? And and
so
and and let's compare that to Islam's solution to sin. Let's
so
compare the two.
Islam is everything you do, good or bad, you're going to be held accountable for
No,
it.
Islam. You do not get held accountable. Do not lie, because
It's just,
Islam's solution is, if you want to say, Islam's solution is just as silly, if you want to put it that way, because
so the Quran.
in
I just told
Christianity,
you.
it's like Jesus died for your sin. In Islam, it's well, you commit a bunch of sin, then you go kiss a rock.
No,
How's that any
okay.
better?
So God forgiving you for your sins is different than somebody innocent dying for your sins. What do you mean?
Brother, I'm talking from a strictly just point of view,
Yeah, God,
right?
nobody's innocent getting punished.
Is
The
that
problem is,
just? No, but because you were so strict on what's being just, so is that just to you that you
yeah,
commit a
no
bunch of
innocent.
sins and you just kiss a rock and you're forgiven?
So God forgives you, and He tells you how He can forgive you.
Okay,
But
so
nobody innocent gets
so
punished.
God
Nobody
forgives
innocent.
you through Jesus. What's the difference?
An innocent person gets punished. That's the problem.
Brother, he's not innocent. He gave his own life.
So is Jesus innocent?
He gave his own life.
Or is he? And he's innocent also, right?
Is somebody forcing him?
Uh, is he innocent?
Is
Nobody's being
somebody
forced.
Okay,
No, no,
so
no. The innocent
there's a
man
difference
is
between
being
being
held for.
innocent in the sense of like how a baby is innocent, right? And then there's the innocent that you're trying to say right now, which is like somebody taking advantage of him. So is
No,
somebody
no.
taking advantage of him?
He did not do anything to deserve being punished. He didn't deserve the
Okay,
punishment.
correct. But did he punish himself? Basically, is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, he did not commit the crime, but he did do the time. I think that's what it
Okay,
is.
according to who?
Huh?
What
It's
I'm saying
unjust.
is, that's not what
But
I'm
he
asking
didn't.
you, brother. Okay,
No,
again,
Let me
so
ask you a question, sir,
hold on,
please.
hold on. Let me just clarify one more thing. So okay, let's say it's not just. Okay, let's say it's not. Okay, now I go and unalive somebody, and then I go kiss the rock. I'm forgiven, right? Is that
It's
just?
not kissing the rock.
Is
It's
that just,
asking God for forgiveness. Huh?
brother? Okay,
Well,
you're
okay,
not being honest. You're not being
that's a very
honest.
good question. That's a very good question. Under Islamic
Leave him,
law,
leave him for me.
if
Leave
you
him for
if
me,
you
brother. Leave him for me, please. Okay, leave him for me.
if you
Who are
unalive
you
somebody,
doing?
you have
Bro,
to
let me talk
either
to
pay
him.
them,
Go
you
ahead,
pay
go
them,
ahead.
Let me talk
or
to
you.
him, ya Rajal.
Hey, bro,
Okay,
please
bro, how
don't
you
hurt
doing?
my
What's up, man?
feelings.
Yeah, what's up? Okay, can God have a God, sir?
My brother. Oh my God. Here we go.
Yalla, answer my question.
Yalla,
Yes or
yalla,
no?
yalla. We're stuck. We're stuck on a
Yes or
subject right
no?
now. I
The answer
promise
is
you,
yes
we'll
or no,
talk
sir.
about. I promise you, we will talk about that. But just give me your
No, 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 no,
position
no,
on
no,
this.
no, 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 no. You
Don't be.
answer it right now. Can
Please
God have a
don't be
God?
Arabic right now. Just relax. Like,
No, no, I am Arabic all the way, bro.
no, just don't be though. Just don't.
Yeah,
For one
yeah. Okay.
second, I
Can
promise
God,
you,
the perfect God,
I
can
will
the
go
perfect
there.
God go to toilet?
I
Can
will
the
go there.
perfect God go to toilet and shit come
Yes.
out of God?
Yes.
Yalla.
Okay. Now. Okay. Yes. Now.
Yalla,
Now
yes,
answer.
okay. Yeah.
Okay. Now answer my
Yeah.
question. Now, just answer
Yeah,
my
yeah. No, no,
question.
no, no. Answer my
Oh
question.
my
The
God.
perfect God, can he go to toilet?
Oh, you're being Arabic right now.
Yalla.
Yes. I just said
Yes,
yes.
he
How many
can go
times
to
you want me to say
toilet.
yes?
So
Now
go
answer
and
my
wipe
question.
his ass, bro. There's nothing called Jesus. It's Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, you motherfucker. All right, you motherfucker. God
Okay.
is
All right.
perfect.
All right,
God
Yalla.
can't have a God.
All right,
Go to
Yalla.
John 20:17
Yalla, are
and
you are
Jesus
okay?
said,
Yalla, are you talking with yourself or what? What's going on here?
Jesus saying by
Yalla,
himself.
yalla,
Yalla.
yalla,
Yeah.
yalla. Stop being triggered, Yalla. Let's talk about what Jesus said by himself. Did
Saying
Jesus?
my God by his
Yes.
tongue, you
Yes.
motherfucker.
Okay, Ayala, no problem. Did Jesus call his God Father?
Yo, God in the Aramaic Bible means
Yalla,
Allah.
relax. Yalla, did he call his God Father?
In the Arabic, Allah. In the
No,
Jewish,
that's Arabic is not Allah Father.
Muhammad. In the Jewish, Muhammadim. Go fuck yourself, boy. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Oh my God, I love him. This is. We got to be specific though. This is not a Muslim issue. I think it's Arabic culture to be very assertive like that.